So you might have noticed there was a very obvious cut, um, and our outfits have changed. That's because it's a new day. Real life got in the way and required us to wear fresh clothes. Uh, um, you took notes. I don't remember where we left off.
I do. All right. So we actually had finished the gaming segment, and
Rightio.
now we're moving on to your YouTube channel.
Rightio.
First of all, Tyler, so brother, is he older or
Brother.
is he younger? He's younger?
Younger.
Okay.
I am the eldest of my one, two, three, four, six siblings. I'm the eldest. Yeah.
It's a lot of siblings. What's the age gap between the oldest and the youngest?
It's only well, between me and the youngest is. Ooh, I'm turning 29 this year. They're 26 years? Yeah, big old gap.
It's 3 years for 6 children, actually, is not a very big gap. If there's anybody out there who doesn't know how biology works in a 9-month typical pregnancy. That sounds like it's a different story for a different time, though. So, Tyler, younger brother, wants to know why the name Bonehead. Does he know already?
He doesn't know.
Okay.
I don't think I've actually told anyone this story.
Well, he's
So
about to find out.
he's gonna get a history lesson. So I'll start with the more boring side of things first. I'll start with collective. It used to be studio because I wanted to sound professional. I was going to be doing all of this like high quality stuff, and eventually I realized that I'm not much of a studio. I'm not really doing anything studio worthy. So I was like looking at my channel and I was like, okay, so I've got like let's plays, speed art, news, reviews. It's like a collective of stuff. And then it was just like, that's a brilliant name, so I'll tack collective on the end.
Yeah.
Bonehead comes from about 13 years ago when I was being insulted by a stranger in the street. A guy drove past me, started bibbing his horn and shouting something, and like as like a Twitch reaction, I just like turned and gave a thumbs up to him, and he assumed I was flipping him off. Yeah. So he turns the car around and parks up. He's got mates in the car with him, and he's like, "Oh, you fucking bonehead!" Like, I can't repeat half of the stuff this guy
Awesome.
called me. But the foundation for this insult was bonehead. It was like bonehead this, boneheaded that. Yeah, I don't know why. I quickly realised that I actually knew the guy. He was friends with my stepdad, and he made the mistake of coming. Oh, God, yeah.
Was he an adult?
Yeah. This guy at the time was probably like 30 something.
Even better. All right.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
But yeah, no, he made the mistake of coming round like my parents' house that night, thinking I probably wouldn't be in if I was out of mates. But I've already told my stepdad what's happened, so I've come downstairs. I'm like, yeah, that's him. That's the guy. We didn't see him again after that. Uh,
Wow.
yeah.
So that's a cool. I mean, could you? So you're almost 30. If that is going to cause any heart palpitations, we won't talk about it for too long. But the point is, could you imagine? I know you don't drive, but could you imagine like passing by a 15-year-old and just saying the things to them that was said to you? I can't even imagine as an adult thinking that
No,
should happen.
my moral compass prevents me from talking to anyone under the age of 18 who isn't immediate family. So, no.
Side note, do we know why he was beeping at you in the first place?
No, I think it was just one of those things, like, you know, when sometimes you're just walking down the street and someone heckles you because they're in a car and, like, you're never going to catch up with them. But no, I don't know why. What made it funnier was, like, I had friends with me, and it kind of, like, then escalated into a joke later that night on Xbox, and, like, it was just, oh, go over here and do that, you fucking boneheaded this and that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when I was looking for a name for the channel, I was really struggling.
Yeah.
And then I was playing Borderlands 2, and my favourite character, Zero, has a head called Bonehead. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, that's it. Like, all these repressed memories came forward, and I was like, Yeah, no, this is it. This is me. I
Gonna
am
take
Bonehead.
the power back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna theorize. Maybe he thought that you had a really cute butt.
Maybe.
Maybe,
I
maybe.
don't know. It's a bit weird. I mean, he was 30 saying I was 15, so.
Did your butt look 15 though?
I'm not gonna lie. I was young and in shape, and I was packing cake when I was 15.
So then there may be some validity to my theory then. All right. And then he realized that you were a kid and he came around and he had to insult you to make it less creepy on his end.
I
Definitely true.
suppose, yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody else knows him, you should give him a lot of shit about that.
Oh god, yeah.
Creepy old man. That's really great though that you were able to take that and turn it into something positive, because I mean, even if you have to set up an email address this day and age, or a username for anything, you type in whatever it is, it's taken, and you don't want to like, I want to have BoneHead123 be the name of my username, whatever. Yeah, so that's a really cool story. So once you had that, well, did you have the name before you started the channel, or did you have the channel and then you were trying to like work through a name?
I had the name before the channel. I tried to like work it in my vocabulary. So like a lot of games I was playing before the channel started, I changed my name to Bonehead.
Okay.
So whenever someone interacted with me online and they didn't know me on a first name basis, they would be like, "Oh, Bonehead, Bonehead." So I'd learn to react to the name.
Yep.
But that was probably only like a couple of weeks before the channel went live. So
Why did you start the channel in the first place?
I always wanted to do YouTube. Like I never, not in like a, oh, I'm gonna get rich and famous kind of thing. It was just like I have something I enjoy talking about. Like video games and gaming in general takes up like 90% of my conversations on a daily basis, much to my girlfriend's chagrin. But I see other people on YouTube like doing let's plays and reviewing and just being really passionate about like just gaming in general, and I was like, that's me, but I'm not on camera. You know, I've got my own thoughts and opinions. I've got my own things I like. Like there's discussions I'd like to start. So yeah, admittedly, starting on a Speedart wasn't the best thing, but I just wanted to get something on the channel.
Yeah.
And then came the first horrendous top 10 games list I did. That's only up on the channel still because it's like a museum piece. It's like
This is where it all began.
yeah, it's like the first draft of the Bible kind of thing. Maybe not that important, but
Close.
close.
What advice would you give to somebody who also kind of sees themselves in the shoes that you were in? Like, oh, hey, well, I mean, I see Bonehead doing this and I like to watch his stuff. I like to maybe even interact with his stuff. I could do that. What kind of advice would you give to somebody for starting out?
That's actually a really good question. The way I think I've always seen it is never start something like YouTube or TikTok or anything like that with the sole purpose of getting rich, getting views. Like,
Right.
don't chase clout. Don't like. What draws people to channels is one of two things, in my opinion. It's either the genuine nature of a person talking about something they love, or it's someone being an absolute idiot just for the sake of getting those views.
Yeah, we have, I'm sure it's all over the world, but like the show Jackass and then subsequent movies were a big hit. Not for really good reasons.
But the way I see it as well is shows like Jackass, people doing like YouTube pranks and TikTok pranks and trends, that is short-lived. It doesn't matter how good your content is, it doesn't matter how regularly you upload, you will become irrelevant fairly quick. If you just stick to being a prankster or just someone who just doesn't do anything other than like the popular dance of that week.
Yeah.
But if you're a genuine person and you're making like properly fleshed out content that you enjoy and people will enjoy watching, you can survive that. I mean, that's why people like PewDiePie and Markiplier have been around for almost 10 years now, because like for better or worse with controversies and all that between them, like they are genuine.
Yeah.
Like they know what they want, they know what their audience wants, and they have that ability to flex a little
Yeah.
while still being true to themselves. And I think that's what we need more of, and that's the kind of mentality you should go into YouTube. Just be yourself, be genuine, make content you enjoy and you're passionate about, and people will pick up on that.
I think that that's a really good point, because sometimes, right, there's what you want to talk about, and then there's sometimes where you look at what your audience wants you to talk about, and sometimes they don't necessarily align, right? So then when you have somebody who's not necessarily as authentic as you were describing, they would maybe deviate over to, instead of, well, this isn't really what I want to do, but it's what might get me more subscribers, more likes, whatever, more views. And so I'm going to go from my passion project and then now chase something else. And then so it transforms into something that was not what you wanted it to be. And I think that you kind of said it without saying it, is that, if you build it, they will come, right? If you let your freak flag fly, the right people will flock to it because they align themselves with it. So you can have a couple people on your channel, anybody new who's starting to, that say like, oh, hey, you should, do a cooking video one day. And if the cooking video is not your thing, right? Like, okay, well, if you don't want to stay here because I'm not doing a cooking thing because that's not who I am, it was nice knowing you. But no, I think that is encouraging. How did you, so you slowly ramped up to 200, right? Subscribers. Yep. Obviously views and subscribers are different things. But how did you work through the initial, like, oh, I only have one subscriber. Oh, I only have two. Or is it just so new and exciting when you're like in those first couple subscriptions that you're like, I have one subscriber. I mean, imagine at some point you're like, I hit a lull. Like I really just, as much as you say it's not about that, you're like, I just want more people to listen to what I have to say or, interact with me.
No, like it's very much the second part of what you said. Like, my girlfriend will tell you, like, every time I get a new subscriber, no matter what I'm doing, I will walk over and be like, I've got 213 subscribers now. Like, every subscriber is, and it sounds like cheesy and like, like that spiel that you always get, but every subscriber I do get, excuse me, is genuinely important to me, because it's like you said, like, I don't really care about the subscriber count being super high. I just care about the influence of being able to like spark conversation. And obviously if I have subscribers who enjoy the content, then they're likely to recommend it to friends who are then going to think, oh, I'll watch this video. Yep. Oh, he's made some good points. I'm going to get in the comments and like join in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, views and subscribers are very different. I would rather have a higher view count than subscribers for that exact reason of, like, you might have 1,000 subscribers and you're getting a video, your videos are getting like 100,000 views. That means there's potentially 100,000 people who are going to be in your comment section, either shitting on you, bigging you up, or and essentially what I would ideally prefer is the higher view count, because then that's 100,000 people in my comments who are talking about their favorite games, their favorite moments in games, and that's all I've really ever wanted. That's why each subscriber I do get is more special than it should be.
Yeah. Well, maybe not more than it should be, but you probably appreciate it more than other people do. I think
I think that's what I was trying.
Yeah. So that leads me to two different things. One, directly to you guys, if you have not subscribed, I know that there's some sort of button or something that you can press down there. He would genuinely appreciate it. And if you wanted to continue watching, send it on to other people. That would be great too. That was not a middle finger. That was a thumbs up.
That's two thumbs up.
But the second part of that is the interaction piece, which I think is probably true, because not probably true, but probably really important to voice. Probably, definitely, maybe, probably is that it's one thing, right, to do something and then record it and then put it out there. Well, now it becomes a lecture that people are watching, right? Until it becomes interactive with your audience, then it still kind of feels like this is as far as it goes, right? Just me talking to my camera, talking to the keyboard as I'm angrily bashing on it because it didn't, go my way. But I think most times people are more likely to comment when they have something negative to say. Then, I even talk about like restaurant reviews or store reviews or even like Amazon reviews, right? Well, this thing was a piece of shit. That really seriously skews what the review is, because you don't have the same amount of people who loved the product reviewing the product as you do the people who really didn't like the product reviewing that. So in that vein, it sounds like you probably would love some more interaction with your viewers in the comment section.
Yeah, I've got lucky enough that a small handful of my videos, like the Metal Gear Solid video, my time at Porsche, and the Persona 6 videos, I effectively got what I wanted from that. There are people in those comment sections actually discussing things. Like, there's parts I've said that they disagree on, and they go in the comments, here's why. The Metal Gear Solid video, I had someone say, oh, like, this is really good.
Your cat is
1 second. Yeah.
In the comment section big time.
Yeah. But yeah, in those videos, people are discussing what they want to see. They are criticizing and rebuttaling, I suppose is the fancy word, on points I made. Like, it is kind of like you said, it feels like a lecture at first until that interactivity kicks in, but I always make a point that I'm just sharing my opinion, and before I finish the video, I make sure that people know the comment section is open.
Yeah.
Like, nothing I say on my channel at any point is objective fact. It's always subjective. And then I leave that open for people to be subjective in their own way.
Yeah.
I might get like a small detail wrong, which I've been called out on before, but I'm always more than willing to admit. When, like, my Persona video, one of the very first comments I got was, oh, you mentioned this character, but they actually die, so that's not possible. But then I'm in the comment section, instead of, like, hiding my mistake, I'm like, nope, you're completely right.
Yeah.
Like, my bad. Yeah.
I think that it's really good, though, to know that about you. I think as a viewer, not necessarily that it would stop somebody from giving you shit if they were intending on giving you shit anyway. Like, oh, well, now he's open it. Now I'll give him the shit because he says. But the fact that you're willing to own mistakes that you've made because you want to create better content. And, like, at the end of the day, you are human, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not half demon. So you're only human and you can make mistakes, right? You don't walk around with 100% accurate information in here. You do your best, right? But you're bound to get something wrong at some point in time. But being able to say, yeah, you're right, and we'll move on and go on from there is a really big quality. I don't think a lot of people that need it have it. So
yeah,
good on you.
Well, like, just to keep on this, like, I know we should move on, but just to keep on this little tangent a little bit, but it's like yeah, I wouldn't say like I wear my heart on my sleeve, but like the whole point of like owning mistakes as well is it's like handling criticism. Like, you don't grow as a person, your channel doesn't grow and improve on itself if you don't look at what people are saying.
Right.
Like, you can't, if it's like channels like it's probably going to seem like I'm throwing shade, but there's one guy called Matthew Santoro. He's got millions of subscribers, but his views have dropped drastically. Because for like the last 5 years, he just makes the same video. He ignores critics. He bashes them.
Yeah.
And then he sits there begging for money and begging for views, wondering where people are going. But
an echo chamber only gets you so far.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the same with TikTok and stuff. You're only going to get so far when like repeating trends of the day.
Right.
Before someone does it better than you.
Yep.
And then you just fade into the ether.
Yep. Just directly into the background and then beyond. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So you obviously have people who you aspire not to be like. On the other end of that, there have to be people that you aspire to be like. So along those lines, who do you aspire to be like? Who really was kind of your inspiration for getting started with the channel?
I think the main inspiration for this channel, the one that finally made me go, I can do this, I will do this, is a Canadian YouTuber called NitroRad.
Mm-hmm.
He's been about on the platform himself since, I believe, around 2016, maybe a little bit before that. But yeah, he started off just like everyone else. Like, he was fresh out of college doing like film studying and all that. He just started talking about his favorite platformer games and like survival horror, and he just has like this real air of authenticity about him. Like I mean, we're talking humble beginnings where he was started on like a really shitty camera using like a webcam microphone, like really grainy footage, but that never stopped him, and then he slowly built up. But it's the way he talks about games, it's the way he, like, because you know when someone's passionate, you hear them, they get excited, like the pitch ramps up, or if they don't like something, you can hear like the disdain in their voice.
Yeah.
He even has moments where like he'll show off like something stupid that happened in a game, and he'll start laughing. And even though it would say on a sheet of paper, laugh here, you can tell that he's looking at this and laughing at it again. Like, he's like, this is genuinely funny. He finds this funny.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those, this is so stupid, look at this, lol lol. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like genuine laughter. And
Yeah.
I think that's the aspiration, is to be at a point where I am as comfortable on camera as he is. Like, I'm getting better. I've gotten better. But it's then to just kind of, because I'm not disingenuous. Like, obviously, you write a review, well, it's specifically my reviews, but you know, in those reviews, you're showing a bias. You show like a specific emotion. And I'm not at a point where I can because I'm not good with emotions. I never sound genuine whatever I say, and I don't know how to fix that. But I'd like to get to a point where, you know, like I would be compared to NitroRad, or like people would say, oh, he's in the same vein as, or just maybe even just straight up do a video with him. James, if you're watching, hi.
Yeah, please. Somebody,
Yeah.
if you can send it to him, link him. Like, is tagging a thing on YouTube? Tagging must be. Tagging's a thing everywhere, right?
I think he's got a Twitter. Probably tag him on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, but
I know, but he might.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find a way of getting us in contact.
Yes. So if anybody out there can hook them up, that would be amazing. No, I think that is a really good aspiration. It's not something that is easy, I don't think, for most people, right? To, again, you're sitting here talking to a computer, which is more like that lecture experience. I'm sitting here trying to express emotion without any feedback, and that can be really challenging. So, yeah. I mean, it's probably, maybe you should tape NitroRad's face right next to your webcam so you can pretend like you're talking to him, just in case, you know, somebody can't hook you up, but you can pretend like you're talking to him while you're giving your review. I think it's the best suggestion you've had ever. We're just going to leave it at that. Don't react. We're just going to let it float. All right. So what are your plans for future reviews, talking about reviews?
So my reviews are always open. Like, if there's ever a request, like, I'm always up for hearing what you have to say. At the moment, though, because it has been over a year since my last review, which was the Emperor's New Groove video, I've got 3 planned at the moment. Well, 2 planned and 1 I'm debating. So my next video review, which should hopefully be going up not long after these videos go live, is going to be on BioShock 2.
Okay.
It started off as like I was going to review the entire BioShock series, but then I quickly realized that people give BioShock 2 a lot of shit for not being as good as like the first and third game, but it's my favorite, I found, and it made me then want to look at the games I played and then look at which games are seen as subpar or underwhelming compared to others, when realistically they are perfectly serviceable and better, or maybe on the same level, rather, as... So, the first one's going to be for BioShock 2. The second one is going to be for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. because, like that's my favorite in the. I've played them all, and that's my favorite personally. But that gets a lot of shtick, and yeah, fair. The third one, I am torn between two at the moment. I am trying to decide which one would be, because they're both I'm going to say this ahead of time. No matter which one I go for, it's going to be a controversial pick because of these. I'm not going to say which because I don't want to get your hopes up on either one. But they are considered by far and large, like almost globally, like the worst in their series, and both of these just happen to be my favorite in these series. So,
so there are actually some related questions to that. Actually, you talked earlier about in the gaming section about games that you didn't expect to like, but did wind up liking. Were these ones that you reviewed then part of that? It was this list that and it moved over to once you finally played it, you did decide to like it?
Yeah, so out of the two I won't be discussing, the ones that shall not be named, one of them I very much went in with like the mass consensus that this is a terrible game.
Okay.
And I only played it because I don't remember. I think I owned it on Steam for the longest time, and I was like, I've got nothing to play.
Yep.
Let's just get good and angry for no reason. And I really found myself enjoying it. And it moved over from my shit list to, like, I wouldn't say it's in, like, my top 10 or anything, but it's definitely better than people give it credit for.
So what you're saying is don't give in to the mass opinion.
Give 100%.
It a chance and form your own opinion. Or listen to you.
100%. Yeah. Well, yeah, my opinion's always correct.
Of course.
The second game, though, has always been a game I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I have defended on many occasions on internet forums. Yeah, so
on internet
we'll
forums,
see.
Have you discussed either one of these games in any of your previous videos?
No.
No. Okay. Well,
no.
I think it'll be interesting to see if anybody can figure out what they think either one of those two games is. So, I mean, if anybody has any guesses, let them know.
There will be a common link between each video as well. Each of these videos, you will hear me say, I've never spoke about it on this channel, but I am a massive fan of such and such franchise. So you'll hear that in all of these videos.
Awesome. All right. So going back to Nitro Red and talking about actually, guest spots and maybe co-hosting, I don't even know how I want to word it, but like doing an episode together. Do you have any plans to have any more guest spots in your videos or collaborating with other streamers, be it Nitro Red or anybody else?
I mean, I'd happily accept anyone, like even if it is just a stranger in the comment section, as long as the I'm not a wordy person. As long as the intention, that's the one. As long as the intention is honest and straight up, and you're not just here to fuck with me, 100%. My brother is making an appearance in an upcoming video. We're doing the dad joke video. So he's coming round for that. He's made an appearance in a previous video. In the Emperor's New Groove video, he was the guy who randomly teleported into my chair before I teleported into it. So. No. The fuck was that about? Only a brief appearance, but yeah, I'm always up to collab, to like do review spots, podcasts, maybe. Like, yeah, like I'm not fussy. As long as you bring like a good subject to the table, or if there's like a game you want to talk about and get in on, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Hit me up, comment section, Instagram, Facebook, whichever.
Yeah.
Always up for that.
Awesome. I think that would be super exciting because it's one thing to have a debate in the comment section, right? But it's another thing to really play off of another person live, be able to discuss opinions, and
100%.
things like that. That'd be really great. My favorite video of yours is the one that's probably put you in the most pain so far.
the hot sauce.
The hot sauce one.
Yeah.
You're okay. Yeah.
Yep.
You look all right.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah.
still red in the face, tears streaming down. You're
No.
good.
I
How's it
can
feel
sit up
sitting
straight
in your
and
chair?
yeah.
Yep, that was going to be another question. So you've fully recovered.
Yes.
Was that a mistake? Do you plan on doing any more like that?
I don't think it was. If it was a mistake, I don't think I would have done it a second time on the same video.
I mean, people have made worse decisions in their lives.
That's true.
So.
But yeah, no, I don't. I like as much pain as it was at the time. I still think I could go hotter, and I still want to go hotter.
Oh, you got a death wish.
Yeah, I'm looking specifically at the Death Nut and the Pack Wee challenge as well.
Yeah. I'm going to ask all of your viewers to just send out like either good intentions or prayers or whatever it is that you do.
Good vibes.
For BoneHead to potentially be taking off these death challenges of his. Have you seen the videos of other people doing the one chip challenge?
I've seen Hot Ones just recently put out a video of them doing the one chip. There's another guy I watch, a British guy called Beard Meets Food, who's done it. He's done that and the Death Nut, and yeah, he was very much ready to just give up on life. Like
I can imagine.
Just, lay down and die right there, and all would be good.
But how do you prepare maybe your body, your mind, and your soul?
You can't prepare the body. You can't. No.
Nothing.
No, one thing I've learned is it's worse coming out than it is going in. But really, the only tactic you've got, from what I found, even before I started recording, I was just sitting there, like, hyping myself up. I was like, it's like temporary.
You can do it!
Yeah, pain is an illusion. It's like seconds at most. And yeah, then I got hiccups and started to cough and sputter.
Yeah, well, I suppose like seconds as in over the entire course of your lifetime, this is only a small amount of time. But I'm sure it didn't feel as short as maybe you wanted it to be while you were in it.
No, like that's the funny thing. It was so weird. It's like I entered a time warp because I watched that video back, and I think from the moment I ate the sauce, it was maybe like 3 or 4 minutes before I got for the milk. But when I was sat here, it felt like an eternity. It felt like I sat here for like a half an hour. Like, and it's not even the hottest one. Like, if I do the one nut challenge or the death nut challenge, sorry, that's 9 million Scoville units. And then the Pack Wee challenge, I think, is something like 14 million, 13 million.
That's insane.
Which is, and that is like 100 times hotter than the bomb hot sauce. So it's going to be interesting.
That is interesting. I wonder, because there are places, I know around here, that if you order wings that are hot enough, you have to sign a waiver before they will serve them to you. Do you have to, when you purchase these things, do you have to sign some sort of like, we do not hold you personally responsible for any harm that comes to me as a person?
You get them off like an online retailer. I don't think you could buy them in stores. So I think like your signing of the waiver comes from the agreeing to purchase, like when you click, like pay and whatever.
Yep.
I did a challenge in my town centre. There we had like a really cool place that was actually run by a couple of Americans called the Mountain Grill, and he did. I can't remember what he called it. My mouth's watering a little bit because it was spicy. Like it was it was worse than the bomb hot sauce.
Okay.
But it was also incredibly tasty. He used like a weird blend of like peppers and like other things like garlic, mushrooms, and all this stuff like into a puree. But it was probably like the most. I can't think of the word for it. Like the most decadent sauce I've ever had on chicken wings. But it absolutely blew my arsehole out. Like... But no.
Send up a silent prayer for your asshole.
Yeah, like thoughts and prayers for my arsehole, please. But yeah, no, that habanero, the bomb hot sauce was the first time I'd gone above maybe like a few thousand Scoville.
What would you think if somebody out there wanted to challenge you to like some sort of like the one chip challenge, but they wanted to do it alongside you?
I mean, Skype exists, Zoom exists, Facebook. Like, there's plenty of ways. Like, we could do it like this interview's being conducted right now.
Yeah.
or if you live local, I'm sure we could meet up.
If anybody wants to throw down with BoneHead,
yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, that'd be really funny. You can have a partner in pain.
Yeah, exactly. I can share it.
I can't think of any better way to experience pain than to look at somebody else that is also in pain. And then you'd have that like, well, I'm not going to tap out until you tap out. I think that'd make for some interesting.
I think that's what makes it so great about like the Hot Ones show as well. Because like Sean Evans, the host, like he does this on a daily basis. Like he knows what they're going through, but he's got that like, he's built like a resistance to it. And to watch people struggle, you can see he's got that look on his face. It's like, yeah, fuck.
My stomach hurts a little bit thinking about it. And I like hot stuff, but sometimes it's
I'm hungry.
Not for that, though. All right, so more plans for that kind of stuff in the future. Maybe something even outside of spicy. Nothing crazy like drink a gallon of milk in an hour and try not to die.
No, I'm lactose intolerant, so that wouldn't go
That would be a terrible choice. Please don't. Don't live stream it at any rate. No. I don't think anybody wants to. Whew. All right, so that was my favorite episode of the Bonehead Collective. Do you have a favorite episode?
I've got, off the top of my head, probably 2. No, 3 actually. The third one's more of an honourable mention. The X-Files video I liked, just because after that I actually sat down and watched like all 206 episodes of X-Files in like a month. Yeah, it's such a good show. Like I really regret sleeping on that, but I'd say the Wind Waker video I did is probably up there because that's the one so far that's taken the most time to edit. It's my longest review as well, like 33 minutes, I think.
Okay.
It got to the point where I had to return to work after lockdown, and my girlfriend had to get in on editing it as well.
Oh.
And it's also the first time I reached out to a larger creator and got a positive response. So there was Pack Attack and Beard Bear. One of them is like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I think Beard Bear is like 1.4 million or something like that.
Ooh, that's a lot of people.
So once again, the dum-dum shows his head. I had this the wrong way round for a start. Beard Bear, as of recording this video, has 590,000 subscribers, and Pack Attack is now sitting comfortably at 4.84 million, so yeah, kind of got the numbers wrong there. But either way, once again, massive thank you for those two for actually reaching back out to me and allowing me to use their footage. Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, like, come collab with me or anything like that. It was literally just, I don't have a way of gathering footage. Your footage best represents what I want to show. Mm-hmm. Could I use your footage? And both of them, like, within minutes, were both like, yeah, that's cool, just credit us to it. You know, just name in the description, link our channels and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. It's the first time, because I don't do it, because we were talking earlier about how I don't have all the knowledge in my head ready to go. That's because I very rarely do research. Like, I will either just, like, play through a game, or I will overhear a topic and just go from there. But Wind Waker was the first time I did proper research as well. But I think my favourite video is the My Time at Porsche video, because that was the first time I have had comments that were like, I picked this game up because of you. I like this game, like, and it was your video that made me want to get it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I think that was the first time since starting this channel as well, outside of like the whole, oh, I enjoyed this video, because I get those.
Right.
Like, humble brag, I do get those. But those were the first time someone was like, your video has impacted my life in a very real way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a really great feeling.
That's for sure nice to know. So that's the only one that people have outwardly said to you, I picked up this game because of you?
So far, I've had like messages on and off YouTube, not messages on YouTube, but like comments on YouTube where people have said like, I've owned the game and then I've taken another look at it, or like I've purchased it but I haven't played it.
Yep.
So it's covered the spectrum, but those are the only ones where at least 3 people have said, I picked this game up because of you.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. So
yeah, no, that's super special. And I'd be interested to know, because I bet there are probably some more that people just haven't said.
Oh, probably.
Trying to.
I've done it.
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, I probably could have mentioned him in the inspiration bit, but there's another YouTube channel called Civvy11. He's got like this whole like little storyline where he's in like some Black Ops prison site for crimes against humanity or something. But he is so far the only online influencer who has actually made me want to buy a game on 2 separate occasions. And like, I love Nitro Rad. Like, he's up there in like my top 3 favorites, but I've never looked at a game he's played and thought, oh, I'm going to play that.
Yep.
But Civvy11 has, on 2 separate occasions now, made me play games that I absolutely adore.
What games were they?
The first one was Postal 2. That was mostly because he doesn't review them. He kind of plays them and reviews them at the same time in like some kind of pseudo narrative. And it's just like a really childish, like toilet humor game, like completely up my street. Like, you put a cat on the end of your gun to silence the gunshots, or you can pee in someone's mouth and they start vomiting. It's super offensive. It's not everyone's cup of tea, especially in today's climate, but it's such a good game. And then the second one was a old 90s shooter called Blood.
Okay.
I mean, we're going back to like when Doom 1 was still big.
Yeah.
And it just looked fun. And I was like, you know what? I can get it for like dirt cheap. I think I only paid like maybe like, I got it off an American site. I think I paid $3 for it. And yeah, they're now 2 of my favorite games. Like, if I was to redo my top 10 list,
they would be on there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. You can't even buy a Starbucks coffee for $3.
No, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the most legitimate of sites.
We won't talk about that. It's fine.
No, it's a legal grey area.
Yeah. Skipping ahead, talking not about that anymore then. Well, listen, I know, maybe from personal experience, that like the downloading of it isn't always as big of an issue as the uploading of it. Yeah. So that other person has people to respond to. You're just an innocent bystander. It's fine.
Yeah. I just bought the weed. He sold it to me.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, never
Maybe
mind.
Not. Yeah.
That analogy went south real quick. Never mind.
Does it show I don't buy drugs?
No, definitely not.
Okay, cool.
Where do you want to take the channel moving forward?
I suppose I've kind of covered it already with like the whole. Like, I'd like to obviously improve the quality of the channel. Like, I'd like to get my editing skills back up to a decent level. You know, like nicer camera lighting, all the artificial stuff. But I think the big goal for me is to, you know, like get enough of an audience that when you have these conversations, like people talk about it. I'm wording this really poorly, I realise. So, like, essentially, I just want enough of a audience that if I say... Oh, that sounds quite egotistical.
We'll just lay it out, and then we'll fix it afterwards.
Yeah. So, I'd like to be able to, like, post a video, and then at the end I'm like, okay, let's discuss.
Yeah.
And then it goes from being just on YouTube to maybe, like, subreddits or even like other YouTube channels are like, oh, this guy's weighed in on this, here's my opinions. Like, I'm not fussed about the subscriber count. Like not that I don't appreciate anyone who has subscribed or will subscribe.
Right.
But I would like to see this channel garner enough attention on a view basis that the influence of the comment section branches out.
Yeah.
Into not necessarily other comment sections, but other discussions relating to those games, those topics.
Sure.
Yeah. Again, I worded that poorly, but I'm sure we can...
I think the point still is the same, right? Like, going back to your roots, what you wanted to do was put your opinion out there, and then it's not about... I have subscribers that, are, clicking even the like button, because I can subscribe to your video and watch you again. It's really that view count, and you want to have the discussion, and you want to have it more than just with your girlfriend or, you know, your friend that you met up for coffee with. You want to have this on a bigger scale,
100%.
and really kind of have that back and forth. You want your viewpoint, I think, probably to be challenged so you can have that back and forth. I don't think that that's egotistical. I think that that's probably just human connection, even on a big level too. But yeah, in terms of content, because I know that we talked about it earlier, right? Like what you want to put out versus what your audience wants to see. Passion project wise, where do you see your channel going forward? Because I know you have a couple of different things on there. I mean, and that's just you as a person, right? I always thought to myself, growing up, you know, if I were to ever be a recording artist and have a CD put out there, because that's how old I am. But if I were to ever have one, I would like to maybe do a song in, like, every different song was in a different genre, because I have a very eclectic taste in music. And so I think you being authentic to you, this collective piece, is still important to you as a person, right? I'm not just about gaming reviews. I do have some love for the next topic, which is Dungeons and Dragons, things like that. But in terms of what you want for the channel going forward, content-wise, where do you see that?
I'm gonna have a larger focus, especially like over the next year, on the review side of things. That was my roots. That's where I wanted to get started. I think in the end of it, I would like to be not an authority figure, but a go-to. So it's like, oh, this game's just come out, like, and then you go to like your IGN or whatever, but you're like, they're a bit too corporate. Let's look at someone on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
I'd like to be that kind of person you go to see if the game's worth picking up. Oh, a new leak about this game's come out. Let's see what he has to say about it, and then you know, oh, that's a really interesting point. Dive into the comments.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's about as much as I'd like to, for lack of a better term, like, expand my brand. Yeah, but I think over, especially the coming year, there is going to be a larger focus content-wise on Let's Plays as well, because obviously that's the thing I know people have asked for. It's been brought up. Let's Plays, reviews, and news. And, well, I'm basically listing everything I do. More of what I do, but better, essentially.
Okay. So, like, if this is a great instance where even your viewers could comment, right, to what it is that they like, their favorite video, or do they like your speed art versus your reviews? And maybe that doesn't even change your direction, but it gives you some sort of feedback in terms of how to maybe prioritize things too.
Because at the end of the day, like, even though I'm just putting my opinion out there, I'm still trying to entertain. I'm still trying to engage people.
Sure.
So if people let me know how they want to be engaged and entertained, I can then act on it.
So getting you to sing hello, strumming your guitar, karaoke. No.
No, that's a bridge too far.
All right, fine. That one's off the table. The final question for the YouTube channel section is, how did that come about? I know that in one of your last videos, you even asked, like, is this too much? Personally, I love it. I feel like it's super... sorry. Cut that.
I can believe it.
Super bonehead. But I think that, I don't know if it caught me off guard that you asked, you know, should I keep it? Should I not? And I was like, why wouldn't you keep it? And I don't know that you definitely didn't on the feedback form. Nobody's made that as a suggestion. No. But my question to you is, where did that come from? Is that like a thing that you do in real life that you just brought to camera, or is this like unique to your channel?
No, I've probably done it in real life. The origins are a lot less glamorous. It just came from, I was doing an outro on a video and my voice broke. and, and I was like, bye! And I just started laughing. And then, I probably said, oh, thank you so much for watching, bye. And I probably recorded 3 of those, and I was like, bye! Just as a joke one. But yeah, the only reason I asked that as well is because whenever... like whenever I'm editing a video or I'm recording and my girlfriend hears that, she always just like, that's cringe. That's so cringe. So
That's probably because she hears it more often than she wants to. You're like, oh crap, I got to take that again. Bye, bye. That was the wrong pitch. Bye.
Oh, there are some weird ones. Like in the Bioshock video I just uploaded, I had one where I was like, like, I just like proper like improvised scat. Like,
So then, even if it's for my own personal benefit, my suggestion is maybe you even do a bye compilation video. It could be all of like 1 minute, and it would make me so happy.
Oh no, I could honestly. I think I've got like 60 something videos up, and I think from video, I think it was the Resident Evil video. So I've got at least 56 videos of me saying bye like that.
Great. And if you have any that like are in the vault that nobody's seen either, like, oh, those were shit outtakes, I had to do it again. Include those too. Especially if your voice does anything like
if I've got them I will, but my tendency is once I've done editing a video, any resources and material,
trash
gone.
can. You can only store so much in your computer, just like in your brain.
Exactly.
Right? I can't hold on to what your shoe size is because I got to know what the recipe for the dinner I'm making tonight is.
Exactly.
All right. Well, then that's going to take us to the next section.